Welcome back, and now we are joined over the phone by Professor Mariam, Dr. Mariam Waheed, Assistant Professor at Faculty of Economics and Political Sciences. Good afternoon, Dr. Mariam.
Good afternoon.
So, we are still continuing our discussion about the third African Medical Exhibition and Conference, and now we can focus on means of enhancing economic cooperations with the African countries, and to what extent these conferences help in enhancing economic relations between Egypt and the rest of the African countries.
Of course, this conference is very important in enhancing relations between Egypt and different African countries. And this is not actually the first conference that was held this year. It comes after several conferences. So this is the third African Health Excon, for example, and it's part of all the efforts done in order to enhance the healthcare services for African people, and also to boost the economy of African countries. So this African Health Excon continues to build upon the various outcomes of the first edition and the second edition of the Excon conferences. It's a medical exhibition, as well as also it's keen on trying to face the different challenges that confront African countries, for example, regarding the high price of medicine, of contagious diseases, for example, and also it contributes to trying to localize medicine in Africa. Also, it's continuing efforts to enhance relations with African countries and more rapprochement with African countries. It has a theme, your great way to innovate and trade. The concept of innovation is very important, trying to think of new ideas to confront the problems that have been facing the African countries for a long time, and to accelerate the growth of different industries all over Africa. Also, Egypt took the presidency of the African Union in 2019, and later on in the first African Health Excon, also President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi announced that there will be, that Egypt will give a lot of coronavirus vaccines to African countries. So it comes as a contribution to more and more rapprochement with African countries in different sectors. So also economically in contribution to trade, contribution to providing more goods and services, trade facilitation, for example, with African countries.
So as you just said that the theme of this exhibition is your gate to innovation and trade. Can you elaborate more on the meaning behind this theme?
So Africa is very rich. It's the second largest continent worldwide. It has the second most populous continent, also in terms of the number of people. It's diversified in natural resources, language, ethnicity, manpower, and skills. So how to make the best out of this? Trying to make use more of its natural resources instead of exporting those natural resources. How to make make use of these natural resources to shift them more towards industry, and that's an important part of this conference held nowadays.
So, Dr. Mariam, also if we talk about investments in the African continent in the fields of health sector, to what extent we have opportunities in this field?
So Egypt has been calling for more investment in terms of health services, and also trying to invest in more, for example, education in medicine, for example. So
Yes.
trying to build new schools, new universities, trying to teach also students in new dimensions, like, for example, personalized medicine, working on genes and working on the importance of new discoveries in terms of medicine. So this is an important part also.
Yes.
Education, investing
Raising
in education,
awareness.
and also
Yes.
hosting African people or people in different, our neighbors in different African countries in our hospitals instead of traveling to European countries, so they can take the health services in Egypt as well. Egypt provides this to a large extent.
Yes, I'd like to thank you, Dr. Mariam Waheed, Professor, Assistant Professor at the Faculty of Economics and Political Science. Thank you for being with us. And dear viewers, a short break, and we'll be back, so stay tuned. And on behalf of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, Prime Minister Mohamed witnessed the inauguration of the third African Medical Exhibition and Conference, Africa Health ExCon. The largest annual event is held in Cairo under the theme, Your Gate to Innovation and Trade. Here is the full story. The third edition of Africa Health ExCon under the theme, Your Gate to Innovation and Trade, held under the patronage and presence of His Excellency President Fattah el-Sisi, kicks off at Al Manara International Conference Center. The presidential celebration is being held on the 3rd of June, and the event's activities will be open for visitors during June 4th to 6th of 2024. Africa Health ExCon is considered the largest annual healthcare event across the African continent, showcasing global expertise and enhancing knowledge sharing to contribute to fostering the medical sector in Africa. It also connects global healthcare providers to exchange knowledge and attract investments for sustainable healthcare solutions. The second edition of the conference, featuring speakers from 90 countries, was held in New Cairo last June. The inauguration ceremony was attended by several Egyptian and African high-level officials, including Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli, Minister of Health and Population Khaled Abdel Ghaffar, and other senior figures from the Egyptian side. President el-Sisi has always stated that Egypt is committed to playing a positive role in the healthcare sector in Egypt and Africa, as it has done through the previous two editions. El-Sisi emphasized that cooperation and coordination between nations can enhance their healthcare capabilities. Egypt had launched healthcare initiatives and achievements, including the successful campaign to eliminate hepatitis C. The Health Ministry affirmed that health has been a priority for the state since 2014 and identified overpopulation as a major challenge in the country's healthcare system during the ceremony. During the first Africa Health ExCon, an initiative was introduced to enhance Africa's human and financial capabilities to produce vaccines, medical tools, and supplies by 2030. The first edition of the conference made recommendations to enhance the African healthcare sector, including vaccinating newborns to eliminate hepatitis B and C.